Can we be real for a second and talk about something that has actually been bugging me? I'm surprised, I'm shocked, and I'll explain to you why. The amount of dissing, negativity, scrutiny when it comes to people that have relocated to the UK, especially coming from our kinsmen, especially coming from our own Zimbabwean community, especially that is still back home, and of course in other circles, even people that are over here. It's so shocking, and I don't know why we are like that all of a sudden. And I've noticed that it's not only aimed at people that relocated to the UK, but also people that relocated to other communities. The amount of scrutiny is just appalling. We've just held what they call the Zimfest, a Zimbabwean music festival in the UK, and the amount of negativity that's been written about it on social media and everywhere else is just appalling. On the build up to that, I'd seen a lot of comments, a lot of posts on social media, on very big platforms where people would just look down upon people that relocated to the UK, diss and throw shade at the decisions around relocating to the UK or relocating abroad is just too much. And I thought I'll make a video and really share with a lot of people, with my people actually on this platform, what about the whole thing. And one of the most classical ones that really pushed me to make this video was where I saw a post that was saying, if one has got 100 United States dollars in Zimbabwe, they're actually better off than someone who has got 1,000 Australian dollars. And I've seen comparisons like, you relocate to the UK, you can as well just start a business in Zimbabwe. And I'm going to address that, and I'm going to share with you my own view about the diaspora, because I'm someone who believes in the diaspora. I've seen the opportunities, I've seen what or how lives can change, especially given time. And one of the biggest things that we do as a community is we never give things time. We're quick to judge, we're quick to condemn, especially around things that we would have failed to do ourselves. So without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it. First of all, community, why the bitterness? That's a question directed to everybody. Why the bitterness within our community, especially towards people that have relocated? And also, why this entitlement, or why is it that when people relocate, their life decisions or the way they want to live their lives or want to run their affairs every day is up for community discussion, up for scrutiny by everybody? Who gives us that right to really in people's affairs, questioning the decisions that they make? And things are like, why are we like that as a community? And I'll share with you briefly. For people like myself, the decision to move abroad is not one that I take lightly. Some of us were failed by a system. And I'll say it, a system abroad, a system back home. And I'll not go into detail from the political system, the economic system, and even in the private sector. I used to work in the private sector, and still would say it, the system can sometimes fail you. I've shared several times why I worked for over 7 years for an organization, and I was still a temporary worker. I would renew my contracts every other 3 months. So for me, that's a failed system. And if you're a Zimbabwean like myself, just a few weeks ago, there was an accident, Tungiza accident, that saw many lives. And a simple thing like, if a crane or if the emergency services worked so well, some lives could have been saved. I'm not God, I'm not there to judge as to maybe if the emergency system was advanced or was existent, maybe people wouldn't have died. But it's just my thinking, because hours and hours, nothing turned up. And still, people have got so many questions, a lot of people about it, but that's not why I made this video. I'm just here to express a point to say, for some people, the system failed them. I know a lot of people relocated from South Africa. They had relocated from Zimbabwe, went to South Africa. Things didn't work out there. A lot of back and forth with the immigration system, the permit that is in South Africa for foreigners like Zimbabweans. And for them, the decision to relocate to the UK again was not taken lightly, but it was one that would give them a lifeline that would keep on their life pursuit for something substantial. So when people question those decisions, or when people take it lightly, or they diss, or they throw shade at that, now that's, for me, I just can term it bitterness. And I know, I don't know, we are like that as a community. If anyone can get to, enlighten me, we are like that, then Leave it in the comments. One of the things that people back home or people who look down upon the diaspora journey love to say or love to throw at us who have relocated is to say, well, you could have £100 abroad, but then the bills, cost of living is this and that. My guy, my friend, as somebody who has worked back in Zimbabwe and is working abroad here, that £100 bill or £100 note with structure, dignity, and opportunity is something that you'd have worked for. Some of the things that people are doing back home to end that, I'm not even going to go into detail as to why, but some people are having to bribe just to get that. Some people are having to steal or to do things that are immoral. But for people abroad, you know, you earn pound bill. I won't even start to, give insight it can do for me. If I'm abroad here, I know that £100 bill can buy uniforms for my children, put food on the table for my children, maybe buy a bus pass if my child takes public transport. But can you try and do that back home? I mean, I've lived part of my life back home. I do send money to my parents. Sometimes you would have sent them maybe $100 bill and you're thinking this will take them far. Before the week even ends, they'll tell you, I'm out of food. Oh, we've spent $60 on medication. And it's not something that some of us abroad, we thank God. I'm always grateful for the NHS. I'm always grateful for the healthcare system abroad here, because I mean, it's been, and I haven't had to, pay for a doctor visit. This is some of the things that you face when you're back home. I'm Zimbabwean like that. I don't know where you're watching me from. I don't know how the system works, where you come from, but I will share my experiences from both worlds. So you can never compare the two. You can never put the two in one sentence, to be very fair and to put things into perspective. And also, one of the things that I've always said whenever I share with people my 2 cents, when I first came, when I was earning about $120 in dollars, someone who is abroad, that's maybe on minimum wage, something that they can get on just on one shift. Someone works for that amount a month. Sometimes you can't compare the two. You can't, how the amount of effort to spend just to earn $100 bill back home, and if you were to apply the same effort abroad, I mean, you could be in your thousands. I don't know. It's just me. And I mean, it's because people have continued to really weaponize this whole abroad journey. I don't know whether it comes from people that would have tried to do it and have failed, or from genuine people who really want to put the two on the same scale. But I don't think the two even deserve to be compared. And this one always, when it's at us who live in the diaspora, I always laugh. All of a sudden, everyone who is back home has become a mental health expert. Oh, the UK comes with mental health. Everyone is depressed. Everyone is unhappy in the UK. Just come back home. Guys, I'll put it in perspective. I'll put it. Does UK equal depression and Zimbabwe or Africa equals happiness? I've lived both worlds, guys, and I've seen people even back home. It's just that it's not something that people get to talk about, and the way everyone just want to throw it at people who live in the diaspora is just shocking, appalling, and I am surprised. I don't know, I can't find the right words to really explain this. To be honest, mental health is a very serious thing. And it knows no boundaries, it knows no borders, and it has got nothing to do with relocation at all. And one of the things that I can say, especially for aspiring diasporans or for those that watch this video and they live in the diaspora, is how people live their life, even abroad or back home, is so different. How people choose to run their life is so different, especially in our African communities. So it doesn't necessarily mean that when people work long shifts or when people have got children abroad, they are struggling. Some people have got very functional structures in place. Some people have got family support, community support, do have spouses and partners that actually support them. And some people work in institutions or in organizations that support them, that support, migrants. So actually, I've seen people who are succeeding as migrants. So this mental health narrative, I wish people could for once really take mental health seriously and, talk about it or use it, not to weaponize it, but talk about it or bring awareness to it without demonizing or weaponizing other people's relocation journey or other people's relocation decisions. Now let's take things a bit further and talk about how success abroad works. It's not like you're handed success abroad on a silver platter. For most people, if not all, people had to write exams, people had to apply for jobs, people had to do their IELTS, which is quite difficult, and people had to go on their flight. For some, like me, that was my first flight coming over here to the UK. Now, don't take that for granted. Now that means starting all over again, starting from nothing, resetting everything that you've always known. And when they get over here, some people have to study, some people have to look for jobs, multiple jobs, and, find their way again. There's no uncle that there's no set you up, there's no, some of that happen back home. And now for me, I call it fairness when it comes to opportunities abroad. Can we equate it to how the system, opportunities-wise, is back home? Can we even discuss that in the same sentence? So when we talk about opportunities abroad, when we talk about it being a land of opportunity and a land of dreams, we're talking about how anybody, regardless of your background, regardless of your qualifications, regardless of, you can rise to the occasion and make a life for yourself. That's fairness. That's opportunity for everyone. And when I compare how things used to work back home, you had to know certain people in certain offices for you to no matter how good you are, no matter how educated you could be, you needed to know certain people, in the success. You need to, if you don't know anybody, there are things that you had to pay for that you never have to pay for when we talk about opportunities abroad. And we're talking about getting these opportunities fairly. And I'm one of those people that got an opportunity to come abroad fairly without having to bribe anybody, without having to, to be anybody, or without having to know anybody. But that's not the same when we talk about opportunities back home. So no wonder why I'll always, get annoyed, begin to undermine such opportunities, begin to, talk down these opportunities and really equate it to things or non-events, as I would once in a while like to call them. And I do agree with a lot of people when they say diaspora is not for everyone. I totally agree, because it's not easy. These opportunities doesn't mean you make it from day one, but they require focus, patience, and grace as well. And one thing that I want us to really bring into perspective is the fact that difficulty doesn't mean failure. Of course, when you start, you're trying to figure out everything. We do get tired. We do miss home. We do work multiple jobs. We do struggle with childcare. We do struggle with a lot of other things. We do struggle with cost of living. We do earn minimum wage. I understand that. But given time, and when people begin to make decisions around upgrading, upscaling, changing jobs, changing industries, and when people do get like their settlement, citizenship like that, those are true changes. The fulfillment after hard work, the opportunities after hard work, the opportunities that you get to access when you focus in the right direction abroad can really be a total game changer. So I understand, and I am quite aware of the difficulties that a lot of other people are facing. But then it doesn't mean those people have failed. It's just a season. I've been through hard, tough seasons, but also I've seen opportunities. I've also seen growth. I've also seen people that are building, people that are succeeding abroad. I've seen lives change for some than anybody has ever seen. I've seen a lot of people, even the ones that came recently, even the ones that are doing the care work. Some have started companies. Some have gone into real estate. Some have bought houses. Some are investing back home. People are doing amazing things. And it's my wish that as we nurture and inspire the next generation of diasporans or African community, if we only could focus on also the positives about relocation, the opportunities abroad. And when I say that, I'm not saying it because I'm going to spend the rest of my life abroad. I do have plans to go back home. I do have other things that I do back home. It's only to bring things into perspective and say, if we can only highlight also the people that are working hard, the people that are investing, the people that are actually succeeding abroad, it could inspire others. It could even inspire our community and inspire our children as well to make best decisions, good decisions, seize moments and opportunities. One of the things that I've also grown to understand and learn since coming to the diaspora is that it's about time that we start, knowing and that we also deserve to grow. As an African diaspora community, or as Black people or Africans, both abroad and back home, we need to start normalizing how success can look like without just focusing it on it being so flashy, being characterized by holidays, big cars, and, splashing money. Success can look differently. And believe you me, I've had this since coming to the diaspora. Sometimes just a warm home, a safe school, a job that actually pays what it is promised to say, we will pay this much, and you get that at the end of, the week, end of the month, is what success is. Sometimes just being able to dream once more or once again is just priceless, and that is the meaning of success. For me, success would be like, living in where everyone else can dream, not a community where we can just cheer on a few who are privileged enough to know certain people in high places. For me, that's not a definition of success. For me, it's when everyone, regardless of how they look like, regardless of their age, regardless of where they come from, regardless of their qualification, can dream and know that with the right focus, they can achieve whatever that they have always dreamed. For me, that is success. And I think that's how we need as a society, as a community, to start really approaching life as. I don't know, I could be wrong, but leave it in the comments. If you agree, give us a like, please. Also, part and parcel of the things that I always am is the fact that we didn't come here for easy. We didn't come here for low-hanging fruits, but we came here to dream again. We came here to afford ourselves opportunities, to maximize on some of these opportunities going forward. We came here to thrive. We came here for opportunities. And if only people could give us grace and, allow us to grow into these spaces, allow us to grow within ourselves, allow us to navigate the terrain, people who are going forward. Believe you me, I so much believe in the diaspora journey. I so much believe in life abroad and the opportunities that it does present. And I know there are limitations to it. And I've always been vocal. I've always been talking about it when things change, when things seem not to favor migrants. But that will not someone who has always been determined to really forge ahead and build a future for themselves. And one of the things that came to mind when I was making this video was the fact that I think probably it's about time that we change the tone and direction of our conversations as a community, as the African community, as the Black community, as the migrant community. And by that I mean, if only we now start directing our conversation towards, instead of us saying, why are they suffering? Or they are suffering because there's nothing abroad. If we direct our conversations towards how best can we support each other, regardless of where we are at. We could be back home, we could be abroad, we could be in between. How best can we support each other? Believe you me, that could be a game changer within our community. That can see us really succeeding, like what other communities doing, or like how other communities survived abroad. So whether you're back home or you're in the diaspora, bear in mind that life is never a one-size-fits-all. You could relocate and become successful. Good for you. Do so with pride. You could still stay back home and be around folk and kin, still not succeed. So why I'm saying it is, I think it's about time we stop with the judgment, we stop with the criticism. Timelines at how God has built us for certain purposes, certain different whatsoever. I'm Christian and I always read about people that want to succeed in a different community altogether or in a different setting altogether. It could be the case with some people. So as a community, let's stop the judgment. Let's stop downplaying what looks like for other people and begin to forge our own success, approach where we are at and embrace them and make it work for ourselves. And again, what might work for me might not work for the next person, or a certain location that may work for me may not work for the next person, but it doesn't mean that person is failing. Neither does it mean that I'm failing. Let's embrace one another. Let's support one another. Let's run our own race and do so with pride. To my brothers and sisters abroad, you're not failing, you're not weak, you are not cowards whatsoever, but you chose to forge forward and seek purpose going forward or abroad, which is okay. So whatever circumstances that you're facing, do so with pride. Carry your head high and know that one day is one day and one day you will succeed. Keep pursuing those opportunities. And for those of you or of us who are still back home and are making it, we see you and we love you. There is one thing that I can just ask of you. Stop with the judging, extend grace, support those that decided to leave. Don't judge them the same way that we support you that decided to stay. And we appreciate that it's working for you. We appreciate the opportunities that you see that we may not be able to see. And it doesn't mean we are agreeing. Neither does it mean we have to disagree. We just have to be respectful in our different lanes altogether and coexist and support and love each other. Last but not least, guys, we only have the same sun. We experience the same sun altogether, just different journeys. So there's no need for us to tear each other apart, but instead, let's build each other. Let's, embrace each other, because how we path does not mean we hate each other, does not mean we cannot support each other. And also, one of the things that I would leave you with is the fact that it doesn't matter where we are at. What matters the most is where we are going. So you could be back home in Africa. It doesn't matter. You could be abroad, Europe, America, Australia, Asia, anywhere, Antarctica. It doesn't matter. What matters the most is where you're going. What matters the most is, are you achieving your goals in whatever location that you are? So that's all I had for you. I had to say something about it, just to, get this off my chest, just to, let it off my chest. And before I conclude this video, how are you? Have you ever experienced negativity around your relocation journey, around your diaspora journey? Have you faced any criticism whatsoever? Share in the comments what your experience has been like and how you have been navigating it, so that we can all know that we're not alone. We're here to just support each other and share positivity. So thank you so much for all the support that you give us, and we'll see you in our next video as we continue with the diaspora journey. We've got so much that we're looking forward to sharing with you. With amazing journeys and that we're looking forward to sharing with you. More reasons why you need to subscribe, like, and share also those who are navigating the same journey or who are going through the same thing. And if you've got any future videos that you want me to share with, or insights that you want me to weigh in on, just put it in the comments and I will do absolutely reach out to you, and we can either share your story, or just me weighing in on it. Everything is just welcome. And thank you so much for your love and support. If you're a returning subscriber or a new subscriber, we love you. I'll see you in our next video. Bye for now.